I had to make this video because when I saw that next year WWE are going to ESPN in the States, so no more freaking Peacock for you guys. You're gonna have to pay $30 a month for 5 PLEs a year. I'm pretty sure WWE does 5 PLEs a year and you're paying 30 great American dollars. All I have to do is pay $5.99 for Netflix, right? Or it's $10.99 depending on what package you want, but I pick $5.99 because I'm a cheapskate. So $5.99 I can watch SmackDown, Raw, NXT, all the PLEs I want throughout the year, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, etc. for $5.99 a month. But you guys in America, you're going to be paying $30 a month. I don't know what that is in pounds, but it's a lot. So $30 is a lot of money. That's crazy work from Triple H. And this is why I always say how Triple H needs to go, he needs to be gone. This is the thing I always argue people with on my TikTok, because I speak about wrestling on my TikTok, right? And whenever I talk about Triple H being a bad booker or he can't book new stars because he can't, I mean, look at Carmelo Hayes, look at LA Knight, look at the Street Profits, look at Johnny Gargano, look at Candice LeRae. I could go on. Don't test me. So when I talk about Triple H being a bad booker, he does not care about the fans. He doesn't care about the fans. He clearly doesn't, because if he cared about the fans, he would have pushed Karrion Kross, and Karrion Kross would have won at SummerSlam and not lost to a haluva kick. If he cared about the fans, he wouldn't be making you guys in America pay $30 a month. Okay? He doesn't care about the fans. And it's the fact how Triple H is so, what's the word? Like, so he just can't apologize. He can't take blame for things. John Cena turning heel, one of the worst heel runs I think I've seen in like wrestling history, right? It was not needed. It went to nothing. It led to nothing. It was badly booked, badly planned. It was terrible, right? It's John Cena's farewell tour. John Cena has 4 to 5 months left of wrestling, and that's it. Brock Lesnar is back, right? And if you don't know, Brock Lesnar has been put into the lawsuit with Vince McMahon of the things that Vince was accused of, so like SA and just a terrible workplace, okay? And this has been going on for about 3 or so years. As Vince McMahon stood down, I think it was a bit after Brock Lesnar kind of just disappeared, and we hadn't seen him for about 2 or so years, 2-3 years. He comes back after SummerSlam, after the PLE, and I was like crashing out. I was literally screaming, so I was like, oh my gosh, Brock Lesnar's back. Now I look back on it, I'm like, that makes no sense if you think about it, right? That makes no sense, because everything is predictable. We know John Cena's gonna lose to Brock Lesnar, okay? Brock Lesnar has whipped John Cena's bum time and time again. Triple H is so bad at taking responsibility for things going bad that he will blame Travis Scott for the way that WrestleMania went down, even though he told Travis Scott all these things to do. So he's blaming the return of Brock Lesnar, which he knew would be very controversial because he's named in the lawsuit of being basically involved, allegedly anyways, he's named in that lawsuit. So he blamed that on John Cena, saying this is what John Cena wanted for his farewell tour. This is what he wanted in the after show of SummerSlam. So if you don't know, there's like a pre-show of SummerSlam and after show, but I was too tired to stay up for that, child. It was like 3 a.m. I was not going to stay up for that. So in that after show or whatever, Triple H is like, oh yeah, this is what John Cena wanted for his farewell tour. And then John Cena, and this, I don't know if it's like an interview or something, or like a tweet I saw, that he replied basically saying like, they make the cards and I just kind of, you know, like deal them, if that makes sense. So so basically what he was saying was they are the ones who are in control of the creative and what happens, and he just kind of has to go on with it and just make the best out of the poo they give him, okay, the crap they give him. People be thinking that, you know, John Cena has a lot of say. Like, yeah, does he have a little bit of say here and there? But at the end of the day, it's Triple H's choice for him to do things. And to be honest, if we think about it, John Cena going heel makes no sense, bro. It makes no sense. 1, you're losing money on your merchandise. 2, it doesn't make sense because The Rock came back that it was going to be Cody Rhodes that was going to go heel, and his heel turn was amazing. Like the way he turned heel, that was amazing. But then after that, it made no sense. The only good thing that really happened in that whole heel turn was the fact that John Cena was wearing his cap backwards and he held the title down, like the title, he put it on his waist in a weird way backwards. If we think about heel turns, John Cena didn't change the way he dressed. John Cena didn't change the way he really conducted himself. When a wrestler turns heel, they change the way they dress, they change their makeup. If they're a woman, they change their hairstyle. Like, for example, look at Dominic Mysterio. He is the perfect example of what it looks like to turn heel. He changed the way he dressed, he changed his hair, he grew out like a freaking mustache, right? Everything. Whereas John Cena, he was a heel, right? Just running through wrestlers, beating people, right? But he still had the colourful tops, he was still wearing the jorts, the trainers. So it made no sense. It was kind of just like John Cena's the same, but now he wears his cap backwards and now he wears his his title backwards, right? So I think this was really rushed. It wasn't thought through. Triple H doesn't think through things. Triple H doesn't think like ahead of time. He doesn't think, right, so if I turn John Cena heel right now, what's going to happen to my merchandise sales? If I turn John Cena heel right now, what's going to happen in the next six months? Who's going to face this? He doesn't think of that, because all Triple H does is that he focuses on shock value and viral moments for WWE fans who are not even in your core fan base, who won't be watching wrestling on a weekly basis. He does shock value moments for people who might tune in just for that shock value moment, but they won't watch wrestling for the next week, the next 2 to 6 months. He's a terrible booker, and there's no difference between him and Vince. Him and Vince are the same to me. You cannot say that you don't like Vince and that you said Vince's reign of terror was so bad when we have flipping Triple H. To be honest, I know the title's Triple K. I don't really like to call Triple H a racist, because I don't think that he is necessarily, because there's so many white wrestlers who he's not pushing, like flipping Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Candice LeRae, LA Knight, Austin Theory. So we can't really say he's a racist when he's doing the white people just as bad. Like Austin Theory just disappeared off of TV for what? You fumbled one of the biggest up and coming stars in Austin Theory only because he wasn't your creation. He wasn't your little puppet. The only reason these people are fumbling, allegedly, this is what Braun Strowman said. He was talking about the Karrion Kross. So basically, in the, I think it was the after show, people were saying, we want Kross, referring to Karrion Kross. Triple H was like, oh, I hear you. You want Brock? You want Brock Lesnar? Knowing damn well they were saying Kross, we want Karrion Kross. And I think that was disrespectful, disgusting behavior by Triple H, because you know they're clamoring for Karrion Kross, but no, you will still not push him because you have this vendetta, you have a grudge against him because he got over by himself. This is the same thing that Vince McMahon was doing in the 2010s with Zack Ryder when he got over by himself organically with the crowd through social media. Back then, that was something which was unheard of. There was no such thing as getting yourself over on YouTube. If you're not a part of Triple H's clan or little group, yeah, if you're not Rhea Ripley, Seth Rollins, okay, you are cooked. For some reason, Triple H has a hard-on for Rhea Ripley and freaking Seth Rollins. And considering they're not that great, in my opinion, I think Rhea Ripley, she needs to just, I don't know, change up I don't even know what to do with Rhea Ripley, because she's a good wrestler, don't get me wrong, she seems like a great person, but putting that aside, I don't think she needs to be in every main event. I don't think she needs to cry away into every main event. In my opinion, like, one of her title reigns literally just revolved around Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. Like, why does it have to revolve around a love triangle? Why can't it revolve around you being an actual wrestler, your wrestling skills, you being the best, the greatest, or whatever, right? And at this point, he's only pushing Rhea Ripley because it reminds him of China, and I think Triple H deep down inside feels very guilty about the way he did China, the way he did her dirty by cheating on her with Stephanie McMahon. So I think he feels guilty, so he looks at Rhea Ripley as like a China 2.0 and like, okay, I can redeem myself on what I did. If I book Rhea Ripley because she's China to me, I can finally make my wrongs right. And that's just not the truth. I'm sorry, but if you feel so bad, okay, sort that out of yourself, go to therapy. Don't be pushing Rhea Ripley to the moon in matches that she doesn't really need to be in. And the fact how people at one point were saying that Triple H was like the best booker, oh, you need to let him cook, let Triple H cook, oh, it's not his fault, it's TKO's fault, he doesn't have control. Were we not watching the Netflix show on the Unreal about the behind the scenes of wrestling? He has full control. He can okay everything that he wants. He tells people what to do. You can clearly tell their viewership in Netflix is going down, guys. Their viewership is going down because people are leaving. They're tired. They're just tired and frustrated at having this product of matches. Even PLEs are going down, right? PLEs, when I was watching SummerSlam Night 1, was trash. Okay, the only good parts of SummerSlam were the TLC match and the main events. And I'd say main event Night 2 was better than main event Night 1, even though I love Punk, like, Bear, I love you, you're my everything. But the thing is, the biggest stars are, for some reason, the people who have organic talent, the biggest stars are being kind of like embarrassed, or they're kind of being, their growth is being stunted because Triple H for some reason has an issue with people who have organic talent and who are actually generally talented. So Roman Reigns, for example, he carried your company on his back for about 4 years. Okay, he had aura, storylines were created, like, to the point where we knew when Roman Reigns is on screen, you don't talk. When Roman Reigns is speaking, that bloodline is quiet. When flipping Paul Heyman hands his mic out, you know that he's gonna take it. Like, there were so many, the psychology of Roman Reigns' character is something that will go down in history. People are starting to forget what Roman Reigns did, and I think it's because, I don't know, these little young kids are thinking that Seth Rollins is better than Roman Reigns, which is just absurd. Don't get me started on that. People saying that Seth Rollins is better than Roman Reigns, which would never happen, okay? Seth Rollins can't tell long stories, okay? Roman Reigns was able to carry the company on his back, make millions of dollars for 4 years straight. He gave us moments, matches, promos, segments, which were all memorable. We can still quote to this day. Where Seth Rollins, I mean, bloody hell, he needs Bron Breakker and that other tsunami guy to get a B-class championship. Okay, like, you're fighting for a B-class championship. Like, the reason why it was made, the championship, was for Seth Rollins, for the B characters, the B and C wrestlers, no tea, no shade, because the A championship, that's for the Cody Rhodes, that's for the John Cena's and the Roman Reigns. Like, why does Seth Rollins want to fight so hard for a B championship when he can go for the A championship? Seth Rollins, he can't tell stories, he can't tell long-term stories like Roman Reigns. His faction is a B-tech bloodline, it's not working. The crowd are not interested. It's unorganic. The chemistry that Paul Heyman has with Seth Rollins is not the same as the chemistry he has with Roman Reigns. Okay, he doesn't know Seth Rollins like that. At least Paul Heyman, he literally knows Roman Reigns' father. He knew Roman Reigns' father. He knew Roman Reigns' uncles, cousins, all these people, right? He was ingrained into the Anoa'i family. Whereas the Seth Rollins, they don't have that history. They don't have that knowledge together. They have none of that. Okay, it's very forced. I really don't care. And you're squashing one of your biggest talents, your most successful talent, who carried your company on your back for 4 years. Okay, and now he's getting squashed out by 8 tsunamis, and his Jordans are getting taken every week. Like, what in the disrespect is going on? Okay, and then you had John Cena lose at one of his last SummerSlam matches to Cody Rhodes, right? And I don't know what's going to happen with that championship, because Cody Rhodes had his first championship reign, right, where everyone had to change his story. Oh, Cody Rhodes finished his story. He finished his story and it was trash. Name me at least 5 memorable moments from his 300 to 400 day reign that was so memorable. I can't. I'll wait. He had the championship for 300 to 400 days and he didn't do anything. He had about 10 matches for 300 to 400 day reign. 10 matches, guys. And I can't remember many of them. I can't even remember. Maybe I might remember a little backstage segment or something that he did in the ring, like a little segment he did. But I can't remember any matches he did, really. To be honest, they're all quite trash. And that kind of goes down to the whole nepotism thing. I could talk about that for years, because people always say, oh, Charlotte Flair benefits from nepotism. Oh, Charlotte Flair benefits from nepotism. But no one likes to talk about Cody Rhodes and how his whole gimmick is just based off of his dad, but he tweaked a few parts and tweaked a few words. His moveset is just based off of his dad, but no one talks about that. But oh, we want to throw Charlotte Flair under the bus. No one talks about Randy Orton, but oh, we'll throw Charlotte Flair under the bus. People are tuning out. You're not making as much money. The ticket prices are going higher. The prices to watch it on TV are going higher. It just doesn't make any sense. To be honest, I think Triple H, like I said, he's a terrible booker. And the only reason people are saying that in NXT he was an amazing booker is because he had Shawn Michaels by his side. Okay, let me break it down. Because for the people who are like, let Papa H cook. Oh, you're so impatient. Oh, you never have nothing nice to say. Let me break this down for you. So when Vince McMahon was still in power, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, they're running NXT, they're creating new stars. It was chef's kiss. But now I'm starting to think that was mainly Shawn Michaels who was, putting in the elbow grease, because how is it that now Triple H is running Raw and SmackDown? It's absolutely arse cheeks. I don't watch it. Okay, I can go months without watching SmackDown or Raw. I can come back and nothing changes. I'm not lying to you. No tea, no shade. I went a month and a bit of not watching SmackDown. I came back, nothing changed. Still the same matches, same storylines, botches after botches. Flipping LA Knight not even being pushed. Carmelo Hayes still in the same place. Nothing progressing, nothing is changing, right? Like I said, if you're not Rhea Ripley, Seth Rollins, right, Gunther, you're cooked. You are actually freaking cooked. He's pushing people who are mediocre or who are okay or nearly nearly great, but the people who are actually great, the people who are actually phenomenal and talented, like Roman Reigns, John Cena, Carmelo Hayes, Austin Theory was nearly almost making his way up, but for some reason, because he was pushed by Vince, you don't want to push him. All I know is that Triple H needs to go, because how's it that Shawn Michaels is running NXT, and that is some of the best wrestling you'll probably see, especially the women. Have you seen Sol Ruka? Oh my Lord. Have you seen Jordan Grace? Have you seen all these people who are so amazing at wrestling, right? But when I turn on SmackDown, it's botch after botch after botch. People, their promos are not convincing. The wrestling is okay, I guess. Like, you could get like a main event PLE match on NXT. I'm not joking. You could get a main event PLE match on NXT, but when I'm watching an actual PLE or SummerSlam, it's terrible. It's mediocre. The moves aren't connecting. It's botches after botches. Flipping Lyra Valkyria is getting, she got herself out of the zip tie and had to put her hand back in the zip tie. Like, we didn't see it. Right, so I'm glad I ain't have to pay $5.99. I pay $5.99 for me to watch Netflix, and at this point I'm watching AEW now as well, because you can't keep playing with us core fans who've been watching for years and years and years and continue to play in our faces to only appease and pander to the people who only tune in for viral moments. But the thing is with Triple H is that he panders to these people who only watch for viral small moments, but then he won't actually get those people to watch Raw, to watch SmackDown, okay? And that's why the views are going down. SmackDown is at an all-time low. Raw is at an all-time low. The global viewership on Netflix is in the gutter. It is terrible. There are millions, hundreds of millions of people who use Netflix on a daily basis, and you're telling me you can only get 1 million, 2 million of global viewership for PLE? That is terrible. That's horrendous. Okay, Vince McMahon would not do that. Vince McMahon would not have Roman Reigns being squashed by a tsunami guy, whatever his name is. He would not have that. At least Vince McMahon would treat his top guys at a top level. He treated Roman Reigns like royalty. He treated Roman Reigns. You can say what you want. When he was pushing Roman Reigns, like as the big dog thing, but that's because Vince McMahon saw the potential and he knew the potential that Roman Reigns had. Whereas Triple H is pushing people like Rhea Ripley, Seth Rollins and Gunther, which they're not on the same level as Roman Reigns. They'll never be on the same level as Roman Reigns. He's pushing mediocrity. He's pushing people with hints of greatness, but they're not great. They're not that talented as Roman Reigns, those type of greats, as a Randy Orton and John Cena, like the greatest of all time wrestlers. I know some people really like Seth Rollins, but I feel like if you need a B-Tech bloodline faction, and it makes no sense, because wasn't the tsunami guy literally tsunamiing Seth Rollins like 20,000 times, and now they're in a faction? It makes no sense. At least the bloodline, there's an actual story to it. They're all related. Every member that was in the bloodline, it made sense. And then we started bringing in Solo Sikoa, then Tongaloa, then all these people. It started to get too mixed up, and now I don't know who is who anymore. He can't book new stars. He can't book young talent. And when Roman Reigns retires, when Randy Orton retires, when CM Punk, John Cena, all these people retire because they're not getting any younger, who are you gonna have? Who the fudge are you gonna have to bring in millions of viewers? When Roman Reigns is gone and he goes to Hollywood in a couple months time to a year, you are gonna have what is gonna bring in the millions of viewers? Because even with Roman Reigns coming here and there every 3 months, you're getting in about 2 million global viewers. Like, what? You're putting in 2 million from millions of people that use Netflix a day. Does that make any sense to you? Started off great on Netflix, and then as week by week, month by month, the viewership started to go down because nothing makes sense. There's no storyline. Triple H can't think ahead of time to think, oh, if I turn this person babyface, what's going to happen? If I let this person lose, what's going to happen? It doesn't make any sense logically. These are things I would have thought out in advance. Why the hell would you turn John Cena, your biggest babyface of all time in all history, second to Hulk Hogan? And that's why Vince McMahon never turned him into a babyface, because he knew that this would happen. Say what you want about Vince, but at least he actually thinks in advance. At least he actually prunes and molds new stars. He was actually working on pruning and molding Austin Theory until he stepped down and he said, you know what, I don't have any control, so good luck to you, buddy, right? And we've seen how that worked out. At least he actually pushes greatness, and he can sense talent, he can push talent, he can sense and sniff it. Say what you want about Roman Reigns' big dog character being shoved down our throats, but Vince McMahon could see he had potential to be something greater, and that's why he was being pushed, okay? And that's why we got the tribal chief character. There will never be a tribal chief character as good as Roman Reigns. The way that we knew to respect Roman Reigns, the way that we knew when he came out, you have to put your finger up in the air and you have to acknowledge him. That's how you know. The psychology, everything was down to a T. And that's something that will never be replicated. And you have one of your biggest stars getting jobbed and squashed out to a guy that has the same emote. He does the same 8 tsunamis, and then that's it. Okay, and he just bulldozes his way through the ring. And don't even get me started on Jade Cargill, bro. I could talk about that for hours and hours, okay? How the hell does Jade Cargill get a grand central introduction? She's coming out of this SUV. She's wearing all these feathers and bows, right? She gets to have her debut on the Royal Rumble. She gets to have all these things, right? Only for her to be as green as grass, okay? And some people will say, well, you don't really watch AEW that much. True, that's fair. I just started properly watching AEW. I'm just getting into the storylines, getting into who is who, what is what. But from the clips and the wrestling matches I've seen of Jade Cargill, she's just a female black version of Goldberg, basically. And I don't really understand why Triple H couldn't book her as Goldberg. Like, there's nothing wrong with repeating formulas and repeating routines if it's done correct and if it's done right, okay? Why are you making someone who is like a Goldberg do a 7 to 10 minute match when you know her match should be like 2 minutes? Jade Cargill was ripping through people as TBS? I don't know what champion. As the women's champion, should have 2-minute matches squashing these hoes to the ground, right? So why can't you have the same formula of her in WWE squashing hoes? Why can't you make her go against a Chelsea Green? What's the girl with Otis that just does nothing and for some reason she's still employed? That blonde girl with Otis. Why don't you get her against her? Get someone who is going to be believable, that she can beat, that she can put to the ground. Or why don't you get enhancement talent? Remember back in the day, guys, when we were growing up, WWE, if Mark Henry was facing someone, there'd be like a really small, like skinny kind of guy, and you'd see Mark Henry squash that guy in 5 minutes, and that would build his resume up. Why can't we have that with Jade Cargill? Hire some enhancement talent, okay? Be really small, petite women, okay? And let Jade Cargill just run through her, okay? And just literally destroy her in 2 to 5 minutes. Done. And she can build up a resume like that. Not everyone has to do these slow, technical, really thought out matches, because you can tell when Jade Cargill is about 5 minutes into like a 10-15 minute match, you can see her thinking of the next move. Let me use the match of Tiffany Stratton because that's the most recent. So she was doing the moves, I was watching, I was like, okay, whatever. And honestly, I thought she was going to win, but that's besides the point. So you can tell that Jade is still green because she was looking at the looking at the referee, so that she can know the next move for a 7-minute match. I'm not a wrestler, but I know if you're wrestling for 5 to 7 minutes, you shouldn't be looking at the ref. You shouldn't be looking at the ref to see what move to do next. And especially, I guarantee that match, that mediocre match, or I think it's Jade's best match, but overall it's quite mediocre. But that match, I guarantee they rehearsed that 10,000 times. I guarantee they rehearsed every sequence, every move 1,000 times, and still with the Alabama slam, whatever she was doing, that was a bit awkward, a bit wrong, okay? But Jeepers creepers, why can't you just book Jade just around what she can do? We don't have to make her a technical wrestler. She doesn't have to be Gunther, okay? Just book her around what she can do, okay? She is a Goldberg. Book her like Goldberg. From what I see, Jade Cargill, I think she's more of a visual learner probably, because you can see her thinking of the next move. You can see her kind of forming her hand up to be like, oh, here's the next move, oh. And I'm pretty sure when I was watching the SummerSlam, I'm pretty sure I heard Tiffany Stratton shouting at her to do something. Like, I'm pretty sure Tiffany Stratton was shouting or saying something to her, like speaking. And I just don't think that should be the case if the match was like 7 minutes long. I don't know what's going to happen to Jade Cargill. End of. Triple K, triple fraud, whatever you want to call him. He cannot make new stars. Say what you want. You can say whatever you want about Vince McMahon, but you cannot say that you love Triple H and hate Vince McMahon, because they're basically nearly on the same wavelength. But Vince McMahon could sniff talent. He could sense that someone had talent, and when they did, whether the crowd liked it or not, he would push them to the moon, whether you liked them or not. Okay? Whereas now, Triple H, you have people like Carmelo Hayes, the Street Profits, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, right? All these people doing nothing. Doing absolutely nothing, okay? Even he cut Naomi's promo off. So basically, she was on, I can't remember if it was Raw or whatever, she was cutting a promo and they cut it out. So I don't know how it works for where you are around the world, but it was put in the middle of a advert. So only certain people in certain parts of the world saw that promo. But if I'm guessing if you were in America or something and you were watching on TV, you probably did not see that promo. You probably had to go on YouTube probably and go watch it. But that's disrespectful, because Triple H would not cut out Rhea Ripley's promo. Okay, he would not cut out Rhea Ripley, Seth Rollins, Tiffany Stratton if she was cutting a promo. Oh my gosh, but squeaky, it's TV time. Oh, what time is it? It's TV time. I've had enough of her. I've had enough of these basic white girls just getting rewarded for being basic and mediocre. Oh my god. But when you have people who are actually talented and who actually put in the work, nothing happens. Look at Naomi. Okay, you're champion. Her promo getting cut out, being replaced by an advert. But you wouldn't treat Rhea Ripley like this, because he's got a hard-on for Rhea Ripley. He has something for Rhea Ripley, and no one can convince me otherwise. We saw that Netflix show. He was all over her, hugging her, okay? Like, come on. This is ridiculous, okay? I find a lot of the white girls, they get rewarded for just being mediocre. Tiffany Stratton is not that great. She's just lucky she's a Sabrina Carpenter too. She's a botched version of Sabrina Carpenter, and no one can convince me otherwise, okay? But apart from that, her promos are trash. She's a punk, okay? She's a little punk because she cut a promo against Charlotte Flair talking about, oh, your marriages are 3-0, rolled out the ring like a little punk and held her championship upside down. If you're gonna come for someone after they've had a divorce, they've opened up about their personal life, which Charlotte Flair did not need to do, but she did it because Triple H was pressuring her to be more likable, because for some reason, because every woman has to be likable. I don't know, everyone has to be likable, everyone has to be liked. I don't know. Just like when Roman Reigns was getting booed every night, was getting things thrown at his head, he announced that he had leukemia, the whole crowd went silent. Your host weren't saying nothing, and I was glad that you guys got your mouth shut. So every time there's someone they want to push to be a babyface and the crowd is against them, they will get that person to speak about their personal life, whether it is they've battled drugs, alcohol, whether someone in their family has passed away, right? How many times has Charlotte Flair opened up about her brother passing away? How many times has Charlotte Flair opened up about her dad and living in his shadow? How many times has Charlotte Flair opened up about her relationships, right? And then here goes Tiffany Stratton, not even going to management ahead of time to be like, yeah, can I say this, right? Says it like a little punk. Like, the line wasn't even delivered properly because her voice is so squeaky, right? So whenever Tiffany Stratton speaks, because her pitch is so high, her voice pitch is so high, it makes everything she says unbelievable, right? She can't say anything, and I just laugh because her voice is so squeaky. I just don't get it. Okay, mediocrity is praised. If you are not Seth Rollins, Rhea Ripley, you will not get pushed. People have had enough. You're making people pay $30 a month, which is ridiculous, because if you can't go see the show in person, the only choice you have is to watch it obviously on Peacock, Netflix, obviously, and the only choice they'll have is to pay $30 a month. And I'm advising you, American people, get a VPN and watch it, because I would not pay $30. That is disgusting, egregious work. Triple H is playing in our face, and the more that we stay silent, the more he'll continue to play in our face, the more TK will continue to play in our face. That's why you need to stand up. There's no need that flipping WrestleMania tickets are costing $10,000. There's no need for a SummerSlam ticket to be costing $1,000, right? To see flipping SmackDown and Raw matches that I could see on a Monday night on Netflix for $5.99. Why am I seeing that? There's only 3 good matches on the whole 2 nights. I can't name anything that was really remarkable on the 2 nights, apart from CM Punk versus Gunther, right? And then flipping the Cody Rhodes versus John and the TLC match. Apart from that, and the Naomi triple threat match, right? But apart from that, everything is trash, okay? So, good heavens, no one can convince me that this guy is a good booker and that he thinks ahead of time. No. He is terrible. He only pushes who he likes. If he doesn't like you, you are cooked, bro. You are cooked. Look at Carmelo Hayes. How is this guy, Carmelo Hayes, the first draft pick, right, for for SmackDown, and yet he's in the gutter? But people like Tiffany Stratton and Braun Breaker can be IC champions, they can be world heavyweight champions, and yeah, Carmelo Hayes is the first draft pick. He's a NXT champion, a North American champion, right? And he was flipping tossed over the top rope of a Royal Rumble like he was just a flipping piece of crap. When this guy can speak on the mic, he's an amazing technical wrestler. We've seen him wrestle Cody Rhodes. He has talent. Why are you not pushing this guy? And I'm not trying to say this for Triple H to be racist, because I don't think he is. But at this point, it's really hard to really fight these allegations when you're not even every black wrestler is in the gutter. Unless you're Bianca Belair or Jade Cargill. But even Jade Cargill, she's cooked, okay? Because, I mean, she lost and now that's it. We'll probably never see her again in a long time. Hopefully you like this video or wrestling content. Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Bye.